King Jr. So, it's Monday. And that means it's Hot Button Issues Monday. That means we're going to open up the phone lines for you to discuss any issues that may have happened over the weekend or last week or something that's on your mind that you must get off your chest. You can participate in this unique conversation by calling 877-532-5797. Again, 877-532-5797. By way of announcements, got to remind you once again that the National Action Network's 2018 convention registration is still underway. The convention is going to take place April 18th through the 21st at the Times Square Sheraton in New York City. It offers an opportunity to revisit the current state of the national civil rights movement in America, and we'll take a look back on the last 50 years since Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination in 1968. We're going to have a lot of great speakers there. Former Attorney General Eric Holder, Senators Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, and Tim Scott going to be there. Going to have the House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi there. Representatives Al Green and Sheila Jackson Lee are going to be there. We're going to have Common, who's a rapper and activist, Susan Taylor, and a whole lot more. I mean, the mayor of New Jersey, Ras Baraka, he's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there, and you need to be there. So registration is free. So once you register, we want you to refer back to our website and look out for emails to get updates on the schedule and on speakers and panelists. Just simply go to nationalactionnetwork.net to register. Again, nationalactionnetwork.net, and you can register to be at this convention. Remember, Politics Nation with Reverend Al Sharpton is on every Sunday morning on MSNBC, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. And this Saturday, Action Rally and Broadcast with Reverend Al Sharpton begins at 9 a.m. at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the Village of Harlem in New York City. And Sunday mornings with Reverend Al Sharpton on your radio at 9 a.m. Make sure you check your local listings, okay? The number to join us for this conversation once again is 877-532-5797. It's Hot Button Monday, man. Anything on your mind, we can talk about it today. Some of our guests that we're going to have in our very next segment, as a matter of fact, we're going to be joined by Chris Lu. He was the Deputy Secretary of Labor during the Obama administration, and now he's a senior fellow at the University of Virginia's Miller Center. So we definitely want to talk with former Secretary Chris Lu, because the numbers on labor that came in for March, they were about 100,000 short of expectation. And if you were watching the markets Friday, you saw the markets, they threw a tariff tantrum, and they reacted to this less than expected jobs report. The total non-farm payroll employment edged up by just 103,000 jobs in March. They were expecting something like 200,000 jobs to be created. So the unemployment rate was left unchanged at 4.1%. This is according to statistics from the U.S. Bureau of Labor. Now, among the major worker groups, the unemployment rate for blacks decreased to 6.9% in March. The rate for whites is 3.6%. 6.9% for blacks, 3.6% for whites. The other major worker groups, the unemployment rates for adult women, 3.7%. Hispanics, 5.1%. The jobless rate for men, 3.7%. Teenagers, 13.5%. And Asians, 3.1%. Like I said, less than what we expected, but nonetheless, the unemployment rate is unchanged at 4.1%. We're also going to be joined by Dr. Earl Ofari Hutchison in our second hour. He's going to be co-hosting with me for the rest of that hour. And he's going to talk about the shooting of Saheed Faisal. He was a seriously mental individual in New York. He was shot and killed by police after he was holding a pipe in his hand. And there was a posse of police, and they just blew him away. The folks there are upset about this. And my condolences to his family and to his community in Crown Heights, man. We got to, the police have to find a better way than just shooting so many brothers so quickly. There was a story of a white lady who actually had a gun and was threatening people with it. They arrested her without firing a shot. You get a mentally ill young black man, and he gets blown away because he had a pipe in his hand. Dr. Hutchinson also wants to talk about President Trump's never-ending obsession with President Obama. He couldn't wait to rush to Twitter and gloat over a Rasmussen poll that claims his approval rate has hit 50%. So we'll talk about that. And let me go ahead and take a phone call real quick before we go to this break, because we got so much more stuff to talk about, man. I definitely want to talk about the situation that's happening right now in Syria. President Trump has said a decision is going to come within the next 24 to 48 hours. Somebody has to pay for this, folks. You know, but our intelligence community has to figure out who did it. And let me advise President Trump, Mr. President, please, you need to come up with a long-term strategy to deal with the situation in Syria. You can send Tomahawk missiles in there, and it may give you some short-term, improvement in the situation. But we have to have a long-term solution. You got to find out exactly who was behind the chemical attack that left dozens of people killed. You got to find out who was behind it. So I'm sure our intelligence community is working on that. And also Republicans they're seizing on impeachment to try to hedge in the 2018 midterms. It seems that they are now preparing to come out and say that should the Democrats take the House and the Senate, the first thing that they're going to do is to impeach President Trump. Why are you so worried? That's my question. Why are you so worried? Is your worry well-founded? Not in what the Democrats are going to do, but on whether or not President Trump deserves to remain in office. And who's to say what the Democrats are going to do? You don't know that. But that's the lie they're going to run out and try to tell to try to get people to vote for him. 877-532-5797. More scare tactics, just like they said Obama, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and every other Democrat who sat in that Oval Office. They said if you vote for him, he's going to take your guns. Nobody took anybody's guns. They're not going to take your guns. Stop letting these politicians scare you. Stop it. 877-532-5797. Let's go to the phones. Want to go line 2 and welcome Pedro. He's calling from Arizona, listening on WOL's website. Pedro, thank you so much for joining us. It's Hot Button Monday.
Thank you very much, Andre. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I remember the first time we met was back in 2006 when we were on another show. But I'm calling this morning because I know normally we start off the week by saying we've got a lot to talk about what has happened in the past few days. But I think that today we have something to talk about with regards to what's going to occur. And that, of course, is tomorrow. The testimony of Mark Zuckerberg before the House committee that will be talking about the fact that who got what in Russia from Facebook users. And I'll tell you this, Andre, I'm very concerned about the fact that my personal information may be sitting somewhere either in the Kremlin or in that building where they did all of the cyber attacking. Because to me, that is very, very scary. For a long, long time.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, privacy in this country should be cherished, and our democratic processes and all of that need to be upheld. I mean, democracy itself is in jeopardy when the private information of individuals are given to corporations willingly. So, and that information is turned around and used as a political weapon, then democracy itself is in threat. And I agree with you 100%. And that's something we're going to definitely have to watch there, Pedro. Thank you for bringing that up, man. Was that it?
I happen to live in the district that everybody in the country is currently talking about, and that's Arizona Congressional District 8, where the Republicans are putting in a lot of money behind Debbie Lasko, who, now I just want the audience to just take a listen to this. This candidate has gone on record as saying she backs Trump and she backs cuts in Medicare and Social Security in a community that is predominantly senior citizen. I'll take your response to that off the air.
Well, and I appreciate that. I mean, and this is par for the course. I mean, the $1.5 trillion tax cut that was signed by President Trump pushed for by President Trump and the Republicans has to be paid for. Now, who do you think is going to pay for it? ExxonMobil, some of these big corporations, GE, they already don't pay any taxes at all, hardly. No, it's going to be borne on the backs of the working class in this country. They're going to rob from the poor to give the rich a massive tax cut that they don't need. We've had enough time to know that